people that are watching and enjoying my videos, I kind of put that in few categories. So we have the smokers, and these are, I will say, probably around 50%. Then we have the non-smokers. But now non-smokers, they can be categorized into people that smoked in the past and are not smoking now. So let's say ex-smokers, and the people that never smoked ever. And this is the category that I am going to address today, because there's been a question that kept popping up, and in the past I even had to do a couple of custom videos answering or explaining a situation, and I understood the curiosity of people that never smoked towards this subject. And today I'm going to explain as best as I can, and hopefully their curiosity around this topic will disappear. Let's see how I'm going to do. I'm going to use a metaphor, maybe two, and I'm gonna pick some situations that I know for sure every single one of us had to go through at one moment in time. The first one will be if, and just tell me you never had this happen to you, because I don't think it's even possible. Everyone had it. It's a hot day, or you've been doing some physical activity of any kind, and you're really thirsty, but for whatever reason there is no water near you, so you have to wait for a little bit, and your thirst is growing minute by minute. You really need a glass of water, and then you finally get to have your water. And I want you to think, how does it feel, or what is your mind occupied with until you actually get to drink it? Can you think of anything else? Is there anything else more important? And how fast this need of water is growing. Now, of course, some of us had to go a more extended period of time with this thirst. Others, probably luckier, not that long. But every single one at one point was thirsty and experienced thirst. Let's say an exaggerated thirst. Yeah, not I'm thirsty and I'm going to grab my bottle and I drink it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that period of time in which you, for whatever reason, you're in a classroom, you're driving, there is no water, you're in a desert, I don't know, but you cannot have water. So think about that. Think about how that feels. And then when you drink the water, how does that feel? Now let's go with the second scenario. You're on a bus ride or a ride or whatever, and you need to go to the toilet badly, right? Did that happen to you? I know for sure it happened to me many times. You really, really are busting to go to the toilet, but for whatever reason, because you're driving, or you're in a bus, or you're again in a classroom, or you're at work, or you're wherever, or you can't find a toilet anywhere, and you just can't do it in the moment when you want to do it. And how does that feel? Huh? How interesting that feeling is. And then again, the same question, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about anything else other than finding a toilet and going? I don't think so. That's what's in your mind all the time until you get to do your thing, right? Well, now why did I tell you those silly things? Scenarios, let's just call them. Well, very simple. Because when you crave a cigarette, you can compare it with those situations. So, what really happens? You want to smoke a cigarette. You start thinking about it. The need is not as big in the beginning, but it starts growing. And the more you are restricted, the more time you're restricted, you cannot smoke, the harder it gets. Think about the thirst and think about needing to go to the toilet. It kind of is like that. Maybe not to that extent. Now, depending how addicted you are, depending how long it's been since you had a cigarette, depending the mood that you're in, because it's a big difference if you are relaxed and I don't know, you're in a good company, you're having a good conversation. There is a difference between this or being extremely stressed or furious, or you understand, the craving becomes bigger in those situations. And that's how it feels. Now, when you are thirsty and get to the water, or when you need to go to the toilet and you actually go, what do? The first thing when you deal with your thirst and when you relieve yourself, what do? Right? You always do that. Is that calm, that relaxation, that feeling of, all right, that's what I needed in this moment. Nothing else is important, just this. And guess what? It's the exact same thing after you cannot smoke for a period of time when you're really craving a cigarette and you get the first drag is always, the first one is always the best. It feels the best. So that, my friends, is how a craving feels like. Again, maybe it's a little bit exaggerated because you're not gonna explode if you don't have a cigarette. You might explode if you can go to the toilet, and with the thirst, yeah, well, that's bad. But now you have a little bit of an idea of how that actually feels. And also, what I find interesting is how front to mind it becomes, how hard it is to get rid of that nagging thought. As much as you want, there is nothing else you can think of. This becomes the most important thing you have to do in the moment. So that's how a craving feels like. Are you still curious about what? ask me and I will try to explain it.